Blockbusters once came to life, Hollywood Boulevard, once packed with tourists and dreamers, now feels like a faded postcard from another era. The industry that defined entertainment for over a century is bleeding talent, losing productions, and watching its crown slip away to unexpected competitors. This isn't just another crisis, this is the great Hollywood exodus, and if you think you know where everyone is going, think again. Before we dive into the shocking destination stealing Hollywood's thunder, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling us which celebrity departure surprised you the most. Your engagement keeps this channel alive, so let's get into it. The numbers don't lie, and they paint a brutal picture. Production in Los Angeles dropped by 22% in the first quarter of 2025 compared to the previous year. That's not a small dip, that's a free fall. Film LA, the organization tracking every camera roll and lighting setup across Southern California, confirmed what industry insiders have been whispering for months. The entertainment capital of the world is losing its grip. Over 42,000 jobs vanished in just 2 years. Think about that for a second. 42,000 people who made their living creating the movies and shows you love, gone. Grips, camera operators, set designers, makeup artists, sound engineers, all watching their careers evaporate as productions pack up and leave town. The decline hit television particularly hard. In 2021, the region celebrated 18,560 annual shoot days. By early 2025, that number plummeted like a stone thrown off the Hollywood sign. Every major filming category tracked by industry analysts showed red. Feature films, television series, commercials, streaming content, everything moved elsewhere. Studios that once called Los Angeles home now scout locations in states and countries offering better deals, lower costs, and fewer headaches. Walk through what used to be bustling production facilities, and you'll find empty sound stages collecting dust. Equipment rental companies that survived decades of ups and downs now face bankruptcy. Restaurants and coffee shops that thrived on crew business during shoots have closed their doors permanently. The ecosystem that supported Hollywood's golden machine is collapsing piece by piece. Local officials scramble to understand how their city lost its most iconic industry while residents watch property values shift and neighborhoods transform. California's tax system became a villain in this story. High earners face some of the steepest state taxes in America, and celebrities earning millions per project started doing the math. Kelly Clarkson publicly cited tax rates when explaining her move away from California. Mark Wahlberg, once a fixture in Los Angeles, relocated his family citing better opportunities and values elsewhere. Gwen Stefani, Scott Baio, Dean Cain, the list of departures reads like a Hollywood Walk of Fame directory, but the celebrity exodus represents just one layer of this complex collapse. The real devastation hits below the marquee names, affecting thousands of working-class entertainment professionals who can't afford to follow productions to distant locations, single parents working as script supervisors, college students interning on sets hoping for their break, veteran costume designers with decades of experience, all find themselves competing for fewer opportunities while watching their industry relocate. Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi made headlines when reports confirmed they purchased property abroad and immediately listed their West Hollywood home for sale after the 2024 presidential election results. Sources close to the couple told TMZ they wanted to get the hell out once the political landscape shifted. Sophie Turner returned to London after her divorce, citing gun violence and political decisions as reasons she needed to leave America. Her departure highlighted how political climate influences personal decisions for high-profile individuals. Over 40 celebrities threatened to leave the United States following Trump's 2024 victory. Names like Alec Baldwin, Whoopi Goldberg, John Legend, Sharon Stone, Cher, and Barbra Streisand all made public statements about potential departures. While many celebrity promises to leave after elections rarely materialize, this time felt different. The combination of political frustration, tax burdens, and industry decline created perfect storm conditions for actual relocations rather than empty threats. Social media exploded with lists tracking which celebrities followed through on their promises and which quietly stayed put. The conversation revealed deeper frustrations within Hollywood's elite circles about America's direction, safety concerns, healthcare debates, and cultural shifts. For some, leaving represented protest. For others, it meant finding peace and privacy impossible to maintain in Los Angeles' relentless spotlight. So where exactly is everyone going? The destinations might surprise you. Georgia emerged as a powerhouse production hub over the past decade. Atlanta specifically transformed into what industry insiders now call the Hollywood of the South. Massive studio complexes sprouted across the metro area, offering state-of-the-art facilities that rival anything California built. The state's generous tax incentives make filming there significantly cheaper than Los Angeles. Marvel Studios shot numerous blockbusters in Georgia. The Walking Dead franchise called it home for years. Major television networks established permanent production offices in Atlanta. New Mexico aggressively courted Hollywood productions with incentive packages that make accountants smile. Shows like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul put Albuquerque on the entertainment map. The state's diverse landscapes allow filmmakers to recreate almost any setting without expensive location travel. Desert scenes, mountain ranges, urban environments, all available within driving distance. Productions save millions shooting there compared to California, and those savings matter more than ever as studios tighten budgets and demand better returns on investment. Canada, particularly Vancouver and Toronto, has been stealing American productions for decades, but the trend accelerated dramatically. Studios discovered they could film entire seasons in Canada, claim generous tax credits, and still access world-class talent and facilities. The exchange rate provides additional financial advantages. Many shows set in American cities actually film in Canada, with clever camera work and set design hiding the true locations. Production crews in Vancouver stay booked solid while their Los Angeles counterparts struggle to find work. The United Kingdom attracts big-budget productions seeking prestige locations and access to exceptional British talent. London's historic architecture provides ready-made sets for period pieces and contemporary dramas alike. British studios expanded capacity to accommodate increased demand from American producers. Shows like The Crown and movies in major franchises regularly film across England, Scotland, and Wales. The country's film industry infrastructure rivals Hollywood's golden age capabilities. Australia and New Zealand built reputations as destinations for massive fantasy and science fiction productions. The Lord of the Rings and Hobbit trilogies established New Zealand as a go-to location for epic storytelling. Australia's Gold Coast houses state-of-the-art studio facilities that hosted Thor, Aquaman, and countless other superhero spectacles. These countries offer unique landscapes, skilled crews, and significant financial incentives that make the long flights worthwhile for major studios. Eastern Europe emerged as an unexpected contender in the production wars. Countries like Hungary, Czech Republic, and Romania offer period architecture, low costs, and eager local film industries hungry for international projects. Budapest became particularly popular for historical dramas and action films. Productions discovered they could achieve authentic European settings without the premium prices charged in Western Europe. The savings allowed filmmakers to put more money on screen, delivering bigger spectacles for lower budgets. The exodus isn't just about cheaper locations, it reflects fundamental shifts in how entertainment gets made and consumed. Streaming services disrupted traditional Hollywood's business models. Netflix, Amazon, Apple, and others don't need to base operations in Los Angeles. They can greenlight productions anywhere in the world and deliver content directly to global audiences. Geographic constraints that once tied Hollywood together as a physical place no longer apply. A show can film in Budapest, get edited in Toronto, have visual effects added in New Zealand, and stream worldwide the same day. The pandemic accelerated remote work acceptance across industries, including entertainment. Writers discovered they could develop scripts from anywhere with good internet. Producers learned to manage projects across time zones and continents. Post-production facilities proved geography matters less than talent and technology. Why pay Los Angeles rent prices when you can work from Boise, Idaho, or Lisbon, Portugal, and deliver the same quality? Hollywood's infrastructure aged while competitors built modern facilities designed for contemporary production needs. Soundstages constructed in the 1950s can't match brand new complexes in Georgia or New Mexico specifically engineered for current technology. Outdated electrical systems, cramped spaces, poor climate control, these practical issues drive producers to newer facilities even before considering costs. When a studio lot in Atlanta offers better equipment, more space, and lower prices than a legendary Hollywood location, the choice becomes obvious. California's cost of living crisis compounds the exodus. Crew members face impossible housing markets where median home prices exceed 7 figures in decent neighborhoods. Young professionals starting entertainment careers can't afford rent near job opportunities. Even established industry workers struggle, as housing costs consume larger portions of their income. Moving to cities with reasonable living costs becomes necessary for survival, not just preference. When productions follow, workers feel relief rather than disappointment about leaving Los Angeles. Environmental concerns add another layer. California's recurring wildfires threaten productions and endanger crew safety. Drought conditions create water usage restrictions that complicate filming. Insurance costs for fire-prone areas skyrocketed. Studios calculate risks of losing expensive equipment, sets, and potentially people to natural disasters. Relocating to regions with fewer environmental threats makes business sense even before considering other factors driving the exodus. Political polarization influenced some departures, though less than headlines suggest. Most producers care primarily about budgets, schedules, and creative freedom rather than state politics. However, when states with friendly business climates also offer huge tax breaks, the combination becomes irresistible. Georgia's film industry boom happened because the state made entertainment production a priority, not because of any particular political stance. Follow the money, and you understand why productions moved. The creative community split on whether Hollywood's decline represents crisis or evolution. Optimists argue democratizing production empowers filmmakers everywhere. Stories can emerge from any location, told by diverse voices previously locked out of California's exclusive system. A teenager in Montana with a camera and laptop can create content reaching millions without ever setting foot in Los Angeles. The barriers that protected Hollywood's gatekeepers crumbled, and that's progress worth celebrating. Pessimists see the loss of Hollywood's concentrated infrastructure as devastating for American cultural influence. When production scatters globally, the shared experience of Hollywood storytelling fragments. Quality control slips without the industry's traditional standards and practices developed over a century. The craftsmanship and institutional knowledge concentrated in Los Angeles risks being lost as veteran professionals retire without passing skills to new generations. Once Hollywood fully hollows out, rebuilding it becomes impossible. The reality probably lives somewhere between these extremes. Entertainment will continue being made, stories will still get told, and audiences will find content they love. Whether that happens in Los Angeles, Atlanta, or Auckland matters less than the final product. However, the people whose lives revolved around Hollywood's ecosystem face real hardship during this transition. 42,000 lost jobs represent families struggling, dreams deferred, and communities disrupted. The exodus extracts human costs that don't appear in studio financial reports. What happens next depends on actions taken now. California lawmakers introduced legislation to increase film tax credits, hoping to compete with other states' incentives. Whether these efforts arrive too late remains unclear. Once productions establish operations elsewhere and build relationships with new crews and facilities, convincing them to return requires more than modest tax breaks. Trust takes years to build and moments to destroy. Hollywood squandered decades of goodwill by pricing itself out of its own market. Some analysts predict Hollywood will rebrand as a boutique destination for prestige projects, while volume production happens elsewhere. Think of it like fashion's relationship with Paris. The city still holds cultural cachet and hosts major events, but most clothing manufacture happens in other countries. Hollywood might become a symbol and creative center while the actual work of making entertainment disperses globally. The sign stays, the legend persists, but the factories close. Others believe technology will enable a Hollywood renaissance. Virtual production using LED walls and real-time rendering, pioneered by shows like The Mandalorian, could make location shooting less necessary. If studios can create any environment digitally, maybe they'll choose to do that work in California where top talent still concentrates. Innovation might save Hollywood where tax policy failed. However, technology alone won't solve housing costs, traffic congestion, or political frustration driving individual departures. The international dimension complicates predictions. As productions spread worldwide, Hollywood competes not just with American states but with entire countries hungry for entertainment industry prestige and economic benefits. South Korea's entertainment industry exploded globally, challenging American cultural dominance. India's Bollywood produces more films annually than Hollywood ever did. Nigeria's Nollywood ranks as the world's second-largest film industry by volume. American entertainment losing its unquestioned supremacy changes geopolitics in subtle but significant ways. For decades, Hollywood exported American values, lifestyles, and perspectives to global audiences, for better or worse. As production internationalizes and creative control diversifies, that soft power influence diminishes. Future generations might grow up watching content from multiple countries rather than primarily American productions. Whether that shift helps or hurts America's global standing remains subject to debate, but it definitely represents change from the post-World War II era, when Hollywood dominated screens worldwide. The human stories behind statistics matter most. Talk to a costume designer who spent 30 years building a career in Hollywood, now struggling to find work as productions dry up. Listen to the recent film school graduate who moved to Los Angeles with dreams of making it, only to discover the industry they came for had already left. Hear from the restaurant owner whose business survived on crew catering orders, now facing foreclosure because those customers disappeared. These individual experiences add up to a community in crisis, watching their world transform in ways both exciting and terrifying. Some adapt and thrive. Crew members willing to travel follow productions to new locations, building careers as nomadic freelancers. Others retrain for different industries, taking skills learned on film sets into corporate video production, virtual events, or technology sectors. The most entrepreneurial start their own production companies in emerging markets, becoming the first generation of filmmakers building industries in places Hollywood abandoned or never considered. The exodus reveals how quickly dominant industries can decline when the circumstances shift. Detroit's automotive industry collapse provides a historical parallel. At its peak, Motor City seemed untouchable, the unquestioned center of American car manufacturing. Then, foreign competition, changing economics, and industry evolution hollowed out the city's core industry. Today's Detroit still exists but looks nothing like its 1950s heyday. Hollywood faces similar risks if current trends continue unchecked. Can Hollywood save itself? The answer depends on defining what Hollywood actually means. As a geographic location, Los Angeles will remain a major city regardless of entertainment industry health. As a symbol of American entertainment, Hollywood's brand might persist, even if production happens elsewhere, similar to how Wall Street symbolizes finance despite much trading happening electronically and globally. As an actual production center, Hollywood's future looks challenging unless significant changes happen quickly to reverse the exodus. Time will tell whether we're witnessing temporary decline or permanent transformation. Industries evolve, power centers